Have you ever noticed that when you try to find a real photo of Antarctica from space, all you can ever find is a bunch of stitched together composite cartoon images? You can never find an actual real photo of Antarctica from quote unquote space, and which is, kind of a problem because if we live on this alleged globe with thousands of satellites that are orbiting above us and around us, like we should have tons of real photos um, of Antarctica from, space. And not just Antarctica, but we should also have photos of the Arctic. And there's all kinds of discrepancies up there by the North Pole. And this shouldn't be an issue. We should be able to get tons of photos from all these different satellites, but that's just not the case. We just get cartoon images. Today, I'm also going to point out some more major discrepancies that I came across with some of the anomalies with the North and South Pole and how there's large voids of area that are missing on Google Earth and from other photos from NASA and quote unquote different satellite images. One of these the projects I'm be looking into is the Operation IceBridge, which was a airborne mission that was carried out from 2009 to 2019, where they tried collecting NASA tried collecting data on snow and ice accumulation and different ice data in the polar regions to kind of bridge the observational gap between the IceSat-1 and IceSat-2 to get a more thorough, detailed data set on the Arctic and Antarctica regions. But we're going to find out that the images that were coming back had large, cropped out black circles on both the polar regions. And we're going to kind of look into more details of how Antarctica is all basically stitched together and it's just a composite image and why that is. And also, we are going to look at someone that made a phone call and sent emails to the media resources of this Operation IceBridge, and nobody at this department had any kind of answers for why there's large uh, swaths of land and large areas that are cropped out in Antarctica. Nobody could give any kind of answers at NASA. So we're going to cover a lot today on the faking of Antarctica and how we cannot ever find real photos of Antarctica. And before we get into the Operation IceBridge, we're going to kind of go over a little bit more details on how Antarctica, from when viewed from Google Earth, how it's just kind of pieced and stitched together and how it's all one composite image. So let's go ahead and get into some more details on how they fake Antarctica.
Year 2024, and NASA gets more than $60 million every single day to show us adult cartoons, and there's people out there that have the audacity to say that we should give them more money. They get 60 million plus a day, and they can't even provide us a real picture of Antarctica from space. That's real. I hate to break it to you guys, but that is not real. No matter how long you search, or no matter what search engine you use, you won't find any real photograph. Every single one is just CGI or cartoons. Every single one. And this is when the cognitive dissonance starts to kick in. I get that it's uncomfortable to admit that maybe we've been lied to, but the quicker that people wake up, then we can stop giving them all of our taxpayer money for them to show us adult cartoons and explore the alleged space that doesn't exist.
Here's Antarctica. I've already centered it for us. And I started to zoom in. Let's keep on zooming. Yep, let's just keep on going here. Now, I don't know if you can start to see it yet, but I'm starting to see lines. 360 degrees around, pointing towards a center point. Let's just keep zooming in, because there's actually more interesting things as I zoom all the way in to this center point here. Now, I really hope that you guys can see these lines as well as I can on my computer, but I just want to keep centering it here. I'm just going to zoom it all the way in, because, alright, so let me recenter it again. Alright, now we'll zoom in some more. Oh, now there's places popping up. What places could these possibly be? Let's check them out. Oh wow, look at that. Old South Pole Dome. Interesting. Some station inside the geodesic dome at the South Pole. Interesting, right? Let's zoom in a little bit more, see if we can find anything else. Zooming in. Centering a little more. I'm just going to zoom all the way in. Oh, what is that? I'm seeing a plane, like an airplane, a vehicle that travels on the flat plane in the air. That's why it's called an airplane. So check that out. There's an airplane right there, in a place where no airplanes are supposed to be. South Pole Station. Interesting. Alright, so anyways, I just wanted you guys to see these lines that all point towards a center point. If the map was folded inwards, this is exactly what I would expect to see, is these lines pointing towards a center point. Let's zoom back out. Here go the lines. There they go. And voila. Thanks for watching.
Now that we're going to briefly get back into this Operation IceBridge, I kind of want to briefly cover some of the general details of what exactly it was. You can see here this was a NASA operation that was carried out between 2009 and 2019. And they use these different aircraft platforms with snow radar, digital mapping systems, accumulation radar. They had all these different radars that they basically used on these aircrafts to take topographical imaging of the Arctic and Antarctica regions to get better data on the snow accumulation, the glacier thickness and ice shelf thickness, ice shelf bathymetry, snow accumulation rate. They wanted to get all this data to basically link these measurements between the IceSat, the IceSat-2, and the CryoSat-2, which are different ice and cloud and land satellites. And they wanted to kind of bridge the gap between the two to get a more comprehensive imaging data set and data collection on the polar regions. So with that being said, there should be, with all this detailed radar data that they got from these airborne crafts linking to these satellites, they should have a pretty detailed, like real photo of Antarctica, from space, from these satellites. And we're going to find out here that that's not the case. We can actually go to the NOAA website and we can view some of their interactive real-time satellite imagery. And let's take a look at one of these satellites data sets that they have here. And we can go to some of their layers. And let's actually just take a look at some of these regions here. We can look at, so if we first start off at the North Pole, we kind of see this white cropped out circle here. So obviously that, it seems like it's kind of stitched together there at the top of the globe. But that's just the North Pole. So we can go down to the bottom where Antarctica is, and we can see that we have the same problem there. We have this circular cropped out area of where Antarctica should be at, and it's like the map was inverted, and it was all basically um, put together at the bottom and stitched together at the bottom, and they have this composite image that, you know, satellites can't technically take a full photo imaging over the entire continent of Antarctica because it's not a continent at the bottom of a globe. It's just it wraps all the way around the Earth. So they they have all these anomalies here, and you try to look at the satellite images of the Earth, and it doesn't really make sense because why would you not have a when you spend all the 12 years or 10 years I believe it was to do this Operation IceBridge, you should have tons of detailed photos of Antarctica, but yet it's all cropped out and it's missing from these satellites. So I just thought that was just very bizarre. At this time and age, we can't even get a photo of, a full detailed photo of the North Pole or the South Pole. So it's just more anomalies that you run into with these satellite images. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into even more detail on some even bigger discrepancies with Google Earth. And we're going to find that when you zoom in on Google Earth to Antarctica, you can find that you can actually see the different layers that are cropped into it. And it's all different composite images that are trying to merge together to make that fake image of Antarctica that we all know of from a Google image search, which is simply not what it actually is in reality. So let's go ahead and look at some of these Google Earth discrepancies, and then we'll get into some of these phone calls and emails with the media resources of the Operation IceBridge.
That Landsat satellite flew over this area, and you're going to tell me that they can't show this shit? They can't show this? There's a fucking airport there. There's a landing strip. There's a landing strip, people. Now I'm going to show you something when I go to ground level. To ground level. This is Google Earth Pro. You should be able to duplicate this on your own computer. This shit ain't no damn magic trick. My name ain't fucking David Blaine or David Copperfield. So I'm getting down to about, where am I at? I'm down to 7 feet. All right? I'm down to 7 feet on ground level. So I'm standing on the ground. I'm 7 feet fucking tall. All right? Tell me. Hang on for a second. People. Hang on a second. Let me get in here. You tell me something here. Why the fuck? You tell me why at 7 fucking feet off the ground altitude, I can see the fucking nighttime sky. Since when do the stars on the ground in the air reflect on the fucking ice in Antarctica? Tell me that. And for anybody that still wants to debate this shit, I ain't got no problem sharing the fucking half a dozen emails and screenshots with Google software development team. I also talked to NASA about this shit. I talked to PGC. I talked to them. This is their image. They could not explain why this was happening, why I see this. This is that black void from an aerial view. That shit that you see That shit you see. So that image, let me show it to you. That black void on the ground, you tell me why when you go to Google Earth Pro, you don't see it from the air, right? But when we go to ground level, you see this shit. Okay? That's what you see. This right here is this. Is this. That's what it is. She's telling me that satellites are passing over. We just watched the satellite pass right over this. She says you have to pass right dead center. She lied to me, man. She lied to all of us. This image was taken January 21st of 2014. January 21st of 2014. There you go, right there, people. Look at this. Why are they not capturing this landmass? Why are they not showing this? Look at this. There you go, right there. You trying to tell me the satellites are passing over and for some reason they can't catch what the fuck is in here? People, this is why I question it. That's why I question it. And you tell me, people exist in the Arctic Circle. I'm going to prove it to you. There are a lot of people who didn't see this kind of shit, but I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you. This is Antarctica. Right? I'm going to zoom out. We're going to go to the Arctic Circle. All right? That's Antarctica. Let's go to the Arctic Circle. So check this out. Let's go in, let's go in, let's go in. So we're we're 7 feet above sea level, right? Boom. Look at that. Since when the Milky Way is in the fucking water? Same thing, people. The Arctic Circle and the Antarctic. Ground level. Ground level. I want somebody to try to explain this shit. And I'm talking about succinct. I want you to show me some supporting evidence to explain this is something different. Show me supporting evidence. Show me a comparative example. I guarantee you won't find it. You want to know why? Because it doesn't fucking exist. It doesn't exist. Does not exist. Period. Period. It doesn't exist. It's that simple. So what's up, people? It's Robert Bassano. La Nate Veritas. Not what you know, it's what you can prove. I'm going to make a short phone call today to the IceBridge Media Resources for NASA's IceBridge project. Okay? Operation IceBridge. And I got a specific question. And that specific question actually involves these particular photos which came from NASA's website. All right? And I want to know why it's the only landmass on Earth, okay, along with the Arctic, whereby when they take an infrared or thermal imaging photo, the middle of it is just a black fucking void. Why on Google Earth you have this black void. And I'm going to show it to you guys. There are people out there who think they're fucking software experts and say, oh, it's some sort of fucking software patch glitch and pixel problem. No, I've had half a dozen fucking communications via email or Google. We went through every sort of potential technical problem that could exist. This is over a 6-week period. They couldn't explain the anomaly. All right? Maybe they just don't know anything about it. But if anybody knows anything about it, it should be NASA. So we're going to conduct a phone call today. And we're going to try to speak to Media Resources, Mr. Ronnie Grum. Okay?
This is Kate.
Kate, how you doing? Kate, this is Kate Ramsick?
Yes, this is she.
Kate, how you doing? My name is Robert Bassano. I'm a graduate student. I'm actually simultaneously pursuing a master's in geospatial intelligence at Johns Hopkins. So I was wondering if you can answer just one particular specific. I collected some geospatial imagery data off you guys' website regarding Operation IceBridge, and there's some specific images that show longitude, latitude, degrees, and because I was basically I'm going to put together a research report, and I've been interested in Antarctica for quite some time. So what I'm looking at on the IR images for satellite and reconnaissance flights, there's always been this center mass dark void right over the center of Antarctica where Amundsen Scott Station is supposed to be. Now, on Google Earth Pro, you can see it. You can zoom into it, but this circular dark void around Antarctica, what was interesting to me, and I thought maybe it was a software glitch, because I talked to Google Earth Pro, is that when I went into ground level around 7 feet, you see this dark void on ground level. But when I compare it with you guys' images, the aerial photography and satellite imagery shows this dark void. So is there a reason why the real-time images and stills being taken? Because the image I'm looking at right now is January 21st, 2014. So my paper actually involves in developing an advanced image processing toolbox to allow for that image to be processed, properly.
So are you talking about like a circle around the South Pole?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that circular area, the center of Antarctica.
I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but my
Okay.
guess is that with satellites like Landsat,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
They don't go. They don't go directly over the South Pole. When they orbit, they have a slight inclination.
Well,
So they miss the geographic South and North Pole.
so you saying,
Orbit,
okay.
they're kind of tilted. If you
Now you're saying the sat is tilted.
the satellite orbits at a angle.
Okay, but and then I factored that.
Doesn't
Yeah, I factored that in. But what I'm confused about is that the image I'm looking at that I got from the IceBridge website, from NASA, is that based on how the satellite's traveling, because I mean I don't know a whole lot about how Landsat is actually taking the photos. I know I've got the data on Landsat 8, 9, and I think you got is there Landsat 10?
no. We're only
No.
at 8.
Yeah, Landsat 8. I got the data from 7 and 8. And I was comparing the images. Even if it's tilted, it doesn't, I can understand it's not passing over the South Pole directly, over that center. Okay? But it should still be showing an image. It's just showing that circular black void. Meaning that you should still be able to see landmass because we know that there's something there. But how is it that the satellite's actually missing that?
Because it doesn't go over that section.
So you're saying it has to. So you're saying it has to go over. It has to literally pass over 90 degrees over that specific section.
If you send me an email, I can send you back a link. I'll look up and send you a link that explains it better.
Okay.
When it's like a 92 or 88 degree inclination.
Okay.
And so the imager on Landsat can only see what's below it to a certain, distance on either side.
Okay.
So it isn't able to catch the surface.
So
beyond that.
So what's the average circumference and square meter coverage that Landsat is actually missing for this area? Do you happen to have that data?
No, I don't.
So you're saying that you guys have absolutely zero data where any satellite has been has any satellite actually captured all of Antarctica without that dark void?
I don't. I'm not an expert on this, so I don't know. If you want to send me an email, I can forward it along to somebody who studies this.
Should I send you copies of the images as well?
If you'd like to, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about, but sure, you can.
You've seen you know what I'm talking about. You know what I've seen before. What is actually available.
There's a hole in the coverage for land.
Yeah, there's a hole in the coverage, and my thing is that
I don't know. It's possible that other satellites have different orbits, and so they've captured those. I know that they're aircraft images, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not looking at aircraft. I need to compare sat and aerial image, atmospheric images. Anywhere between 3,000 to 45,000 feet. I even went on Sophia's website to see if they actually were covering it because I know they fly down there. And
okay. Well, why don't you send me an email and then?
Yeah. What's your email address? What's your email address?
It's Kate.
Kate.
Mhm.
Okay.
.d. .ramsayer RAMSAYER at nasa.gov.
At nasa.gov.
Yep. And I'll forward it along to somebody who can answer.
Yeah, because I kind of got a timely issue, so I'm working on this paper for the weekend, and I want to be able to get the data put together. You think that someone will be able to respond to me today?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay, because I got a Tuesday submission deadline. Okay. Yeah, it's just I had, I got a list of everything that was, in the sky, going to that area, and it looked like there's assets flying over the South Pole, but the image capture data, it just. I was just trying to understand. I mean, I was looking at technical specs for the sats, and even irregardless of the angle of trajectory and where it's pointed, it seems that they're capturing all of Antarctica, but you still got this circular void where you can't see anything there at all.
And for Landsat, that's because of the orbit. It's just the way the orbit's designed.
And there's no way of retasking this to actually see something different.
I don't know about that.
Well,
send me the email and I'll forward it along.
All right, I'm gonna shoot. Yeah, I'll shoot that too, and I really appreciate it.
Sure thing.
Thank you, Kate. Bye. So, people, you heard what she said. Okay, I'm gonna shoot her an email, and I'm going to send these images to her. I'm going to send this image. I'm going to send this image. That's January. Look at that. That's January 7th, 2014. All right. I don't know when this one was. I'm going to send this image January 7th, January 21st, February 14th, and I'm gonna send this bad boy, and I'm gonna see what they say. I'm gonna send this one as well, because that don't jive with me. I want to know why you're avoiding the South Pole. Why? So that's what I want to see. Okay? So I think what I'll do is I'll wait for the email before I post this video, and let's see what happens. Okay, guys? So again, this was going to be a short one, and I'd like to know if there's a whole different world out there. Okay? Let's see what happens, people.
When we look at the fact that we don't have any real photos of Antarctica and what it should look like from space, it just kind of adds on to the already existing mountains of evidence that Antarctica really isn't what we're actually told it is. And, now you have the fact that, not only can you not physically, independently explore Antarctica, like freely and independently explore beyond certain designated areas, but you can't really even virtually explore Antarctica, whether it's photos from NASA, composite cartoon images from NASA, or whether it's Google Earth and not being able to observe large amounts of area of Antarctica just from Google Earth. It, for any rational thinking person, that should be an immediate red flag that Antarctica is definitely not something that we're told it is. So it's just that much more evidence that there's something more going on in Antarctica, and there's potentially something going on beyond Antarctica. So I just wanted to point out some more of the fraud and fakery that has been going on in Antarctica for decades, and until we can actually go down and verify any of these claims, Antarctica is always going to be shrouded in mystery, and we're not going to ever really know the true reality of what is actually going on in Antarctica.